The meeting to order. Planning Commission meeting of December 1st, 2022. Present are Scott Dale, member, Michael Duval, secretary, myself, chairman, and Linda Taylor, vice chairman. We got a quorum. All right. First item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes of the last meeting. And I didn't see any errors or anything to pick up on the thing. Anybody have any comments, or will somebody make a motion to accept them as written?
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of November 17th as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second? Over here? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then we have also the minutes of the special walk, the site walk that we did over on 101 Park Ridge Road on the 19th. The minutes were submitted, relatively brief, but it hit the highlights. Would you like to make a motion on your minutes there to accept them, Mike?
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes of the sidewalk.
Got a second over here, Scott?
Second.
Okay. Us three were there, so we can vote on it. Linda will have to abstain. All those in favor of accepting the minutes for November 19th site walk, 101 Park Ridge Road, please say aye or nay.
Aye.
All right. We have nobody here for the lot line revision, and I don't really want to.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind,
To Dorset.
Rochelle Hodsa for the record, Land Use Director. This is a very simple lot line revision. Mr. Hurlbut had to go today, in fact, for rotator cuff surgery. I suggested he put his application in anyway because it speaks for itself. If this commission doesn't want to review it, of course, it's your prerogative.
I usually like to have the lot owner tell us what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's up to you. As I say, it's a rather straightforward lot line revision.
It's a lot line revision, but does it have the instructions of what to do after we approve?
Yes, because I'm the land use director, and in order to actually get it to the town clerk, he'd have to have the Mylar. But he does have everything that he is required to have is checked off. He's got the
He has to have the
The deeds.
conveyance tax information too.
yes, he's got the deeds. He's got everything you need.
I know he's got the deeds. If he's not going to show, I'm going to table it to the next meeting.
It's your prerogative, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, we got a public hearing at 7:45. I see there isn't very much public here right now to discuss this, Mr. Steiner. I'm going to give it, we'll do some of the other stuff on our agenda, and we'll come back to you at 7:45. Only because we want to make it look legal here. Other business, 2023 election of officers. We got a report from, we had a committee. Oh, let's move. Let's move. I need a mo-
Item B there, the,
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed
Yeah,
the
I know,
application
that
for
was
zoning
on-
change.
on
You're
the
right.
table for tonight.
I'm getting ahead of myself here. We have an application that came in from the zoning, and zoning would like our comment on it, whether we, and they're gonna have a public hearing, I believe, next week on it. So over here, let's see, yeah. Public hearing set for January 12th, so they would like to hear from us before. So, what it appears to be is that the White Star Properties LLC has requested a change in the current zoning laws, which were updated a couple years ago, to allow a church in the C1 zone. I guess it was allowed in the past, but now they want to bring it back in. Place of worship, parish houses and centers, provided a minimum area of 120,000 square feet. They will like to have that as a special permit under Zone C1. And they would like our actions on it, see what we think about it. I went through the paperwork. I didn't see anything negative, why it shouldn't be allowed. It is one of the things that is religious institutions, definitely part of our plan of conservation and development. So I suggest that what we do is we send a letter saying that the Planning Commission has reviewed the proposal to amend the zoning regulations to allow houses of worship in the C1 zone by special permit. We see that as consistent with our plan of conservation and development. And think it should be looked at favorably by the zoning commission.
I agree with that.
You agree with that?
I do, yeah.
How are you doing, Linda? Yeah? So can I have a motion to make what I just said a motion?
I'll make that motion to make that a motion.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Michael seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So we will send a letter to the zoning commission before January 1st.
Mr. Chairman, may I, is it customary for me to write that letter and then have one of you sign it, or how does that work typically? Or,
Should be good enough that it's on record. It doesn't really need our signature. They can sign for us at this point. in
very
time.
good.
Okay. Now, let us move to a motion to move to item number 6, other business proper. Can I have that motion to move to item 6?
I'll make the motion to move to item 6.
Any seconds on that?
I'll second.
Got a second for Linda. All those in favor? Aye. Linda had and Scott were the nominating committee they were looking to see who's potentially going to be officers for next year. According to our bylaws, really don't have to do this until January 1st to have the nominations order, but since we only have one meeting in December, figured we do it now, we form the committee a little bit early. Would you like to make a report, Linda?
Sure, I'll make a report. We would like to put in for nomination yourself to retain chairmanship. It looks like we might keep the same slate that we have
Might have the
presently.
same
same
slate of
slate.
officers?
If anyone changes their mind before January, Scott.
Yeah, January 1st.
Or Mike,
All right.
feel free to.
January 1st, we will discuss nominations again. If
Mhm.
anybody
Right.
has a change of plans, we
Right.
should, we have that opportunity at that
Right.
point in time. Our first meeting in February,
Then we'll have a vote.
and then we have the official vote.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so right now, the nominating committee has said, keep the slate as it is, right, as it has been. All right. Got 5 minutes more, so we'll go to correspondence. Zoning meeting of November 10th. Somewhere in here in my file. Okay, November 10th zoning meeting. Things that stood out for us, let's see, oh, yeah, One Sandcut Road, which is actually Golf Quest, or was Golf Quest, is now owned by Blue Jeans Golf LLC, which is based in Dallas, Texas. And they went to zoning. They would like to operate a limited service restaurant as an accessory use for the existing driving range golf course. They went through a public hearing on this, and they want to be able to serve, say, beer and wine, and maybe some limited food. So they had a motion to approve, and it was second. So it looks like we're going to be able to get beer and wine down the road at the driving range. The other thing that popped out at me, they had residential stuff that with a lot of some controversy about debris and the fill, but we're not going to go into that. The YMCA, they want to modify 2 6x6 by 14 by 8 restrooms to be added to the campground over there on Huckleberry Hill Road. They're going to be removing porta potties and install 2 pre-built concrete lavatories. The commission's asked if there are any comments. Everybody said there was a pretty good idea, and I believe it passed. Let me just check. Yep. So they're going to get new lavatories over at the YMCA near the campground. Guess that's for the summer programs that they had. Anything else that was in the zoning minutes that, oh yeah, there's another thing here. Zoning also saw somebody called Park Ridge Road. They had an application. They want to bring a light manufacturing building, a warehouse building over there on 101 Park Ridge Road, and they made a vote to have a public hearing on December 8th. And that motion was carried in part. And so it might be nice for us to review that in 2 minutes. Okay. Let me get the script out. We'll do that only because it is a public hearing, it's being recorded. So the record will show that we followed proper procedure. Michael, do you have that notice?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you read the notice?
Brookfield's Planning Commission will hold a public hearing on December 1st, 2022 at 7:45 at Town Hall, 100 Pocono Road, room 133, in regards to 101 Park Ridge Road, the application for re-subdivision by Berkshire North LLC, 2 Park Lawn Drive, Bethel. At this hearing, interested parties may speak and written communications shall be received. Files may be inspected at Town Hall. Rochelle Hudza, Land Use Director, dated November 18th, 2022.
Okay. So, at this point in our agenda, we have a scheduled public hearing concerning 101 Park Ridge Road. Just heard the application number for 2-lot subdivision. We'll open the public hearing, we did that. The application was formally received by the commission at our last meeting, on September 19th, I believe it was, this November 19th. Public hearing is only one aspect of the approval process and is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on this application, and to allow expression of opinion by interested parties. Subsequent to this hearing, the commission has 65 days in which to render a decision on the proposal. The final decision may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with stipulations, or disapproved. While reading into the record the correspondence received by the commission relative to the application, we will ask the applicant to present the application in detail. Presentation will be limited to 45 minutes. I don't think Steve's gonna go 45 minutes. The chair will
Maybe.
then entertain questions of clarifications concerning the applicant's presentation. We will then hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the application, followed by those who are opposed. Comments must be limited to 5 minutes. Chair will then entertain questions of clarifications concerning the applicant's presentation. We will then hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the application, followed by those who are opposed. Comments must be limited again to 5 minutes. Okay, I did that. Oh, following each side of the question, a period of rebuttal for each position will be allowed. All questions and comments must be directed through the chairman. As you are recognized, please state your name and address before you speak so that your comments, oh, just lost where I was, may be legally recorded. Okay. Don't lose where you're at. That's. Please be assured that everyone will be given an opportunity to speak. However, the commission is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application, and in view of time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in not reiterating comments previously presented. After public comments are received, the applicant will have the opportunity to comment, and the time will be limited to 10 minutes. Okay, we'll now proceed with the applicant's presentation.
Bless
Okay, good evening. Steve Sullivan from CCA Engineers, professional engineer licensed in the state of Connecticut. Okay, we are here for 101 Park Ridge Road. Park Ridge Road is, 101 is about 49 acres in Brookfield. It's part of the Berkshire Corporate Park. We're looking to subdivide out a 6.7 acre piece for future development in the corporate park. Earlier today, we submitted the notifications that we sent to the joiners. They're in the lady's office.
Yep, they're here. Secretary has time.
So
Oh,
we have,
oh, the notifications, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
at the public hearing, or no, at the site walk, I should say, the commission asked for a overall plan, which we submitted. I uploaded that yesterday, as a matter of fact, today. These maps were dropped off today, this morning.
Yeah, you got one that shows 3 lots, now we're only doing 2, right?
We only have 2 lots.
Okay,
So 101 Park Ridge Road is all of this.
Greg Steiner.
Yep.
It was the remaining property that we had, so we haven't subdivided this parcel. It's all part of parcel 3, what was remaining after we took the Branson property out.
Parcel 2A was already done. That
Oh,
was,
okay.
that was the Branson.
all right,
Yeah.
now I understand.
Yeah,
So we started with Joe Courtney with Eastern Accounting as number 1, and then Branson became number 2, and then everything was left like I explained.
Okay,
Parcel 3A.
okay, now I understand it.
Now we're calling this parcel 3A, the new one, which is on a smaller scale. This is the subdivision map with parcel 3A. It is for a future office, warehouse, light manufacturing building. Development would be served by Prairie Water Company and WPCA for sewer. As you mentioned, we have a public hearing for the specific site plan requirements to the special permit next Thursday for zoning.
Yep.
We do have a $3,500 bond for property markers, which will be done.
Okay, we got correspondence from Ralph Tedesco that he's satisfied with the bond that
Okay.
we
Okay.
put on.
Yeah, it's only the property markers, so it's
Yeah.
anything's, well, the infrastructure's there, so there's no public improvements needed. And, that's really.
For me to approve any subdivision, I gotta have wetlands approval.
Yes.
Okay.
There are, yeah.
Do we have wetlands approval? Because I don't see anything in the record of that. I
So
know you
this-
did the study, and the study looks very good, but I'm not wetlands.
Yeah, it's on my desk, Mr. Chairman. I'm the Wetlands Enforcement Officer. My name is Rochelle Hadza. And I see no problems with the application at all. It will be an agent approval, so it does not need to go before the commission. I can,
I'm just going by our regs. Our regs
well, I'm just
do require
just
a
giving you some,
wetlands
it's giving you
approval,
some
you know,
history.
and then even if it's just a note saying, we looked at it and say, yep, it's there, you know, we should have something for the record.
Right.
So you could, if that's the only, if there are any other, you know, you can close it.
We'll
just
make
not
it as a
vote.
part of a stipulation
Yeah,
that wetlands,
yeah.
but I just asked.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, I've just approved it now, so I guess it's, yeah.
Yeah, Section 234-403, what inland wetlands approval.
Yeah, I've just approved
That's-
it now.
yeah. For approval, a plan of subdivision shall require copy of the approved map granted by and a letter of decision from the Inland Wetlands Commission if any part of the subdivision lies within the commission's jurisdiction, as determined by them.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I've just approved it now. It's officially approved. I can go print that out for you if you'd like. But you can certainly close the public hearing without it.
You know, we could, if it's there, we'll take your word for it.
Okay.
It's just.
Yes,
one-
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, my name is Rochelle Hodds. I'm the Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer. I reviewed the plan, and the plan, the project will have a minimal, if any, impact on the wetlands.
Okay, that's what we need. Thank you. Okay, so you got testimony on that. That was my only question, because I didn't see anything about wetlands in the packet, other than your engineer's reports, which were excellent, they were fine. Any questions for the applicant?
No.
No questions for the applicant? Okay, well, public, anybody want to speak in favor of this application in the public? Hearing none, we'll move to the opposition. Anybody want to speak in opposition to this application? No, okay, well, done the legal part. What do you guys think? Got 65 days to mull it over, or we can take care of it and mull it over in the next 5 minutes, but
I think it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, when we did the site walk, I got to have a clearer understanding of what's going on. So
Yeah, I agree. The
pretty
sidewalk kind
straightforward.
of answered any questions I might have had,
you
so
didn't see
I'm
anything,
fine. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so, we need somebody to make a motion to approve the subdivision.
You've got to close the hearing first.
I'm sorry?
You need to
Close the public
close it
hearing.
first.
public hearing.
Public hearing, let's close the public hearing. Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
A second?
Got a second from Linda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, we got, from now until 65 days, if you want to wait till February to make this guy squirm a while, but no sense doing that, he's a good guy. Anyhow, I'll entertain a motion to approve the subdivision as presented with the stipulation of the Is that 3,800 exact? I don't have the number right in front of me,
Oh,
Steve.
it's, yeah, it's 3,500, I think it's.
It's in here, I know. I know you did it. With the stipulation, it's more, that's what I saw.
Yep.
3850,
38.50.
yeah. With bonding for pins and monuments of 3850 to be held as part of the approval. And we got the wetlands information, so we don't need to put a stipulation in for that. So, I'm ready to say, let's go ahead with approving this project, which is 101 Park Ridge Road. And got a PL number on it again. Where's the PL number? Come on.
Field 22,
Yes. Yeah, just
Field 22-6.
PL 22-6?
Yes.
Okay. So. How we doing, Gina? Are we ready for me to?
We read it back.
Yeah, well, you're back, so we can.
A motion to approve application PL-22-6, 101 Park Ridge Road subdivision as presented with the stipulation that $3,850 bond for pins and monuments be held as part of the approval.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, a point of order, I would just say that that's a re-subdivision, it's not a subdivision.
Re-subdivision,
Re-sub.
thank you. That's right, it is. It's a re-subdivision.
This is not a point of order.
Okay, that's correct, it will amend it. Do I have a second to that, what Jean
No,
just
I
read?
can't make the motion. Whose motion is it?
It's mine.
I'll second.
We got a second, okay. I can make a motion once in a while, too.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, thank you.
Good luck with zoning, and have a good holiday if we don't see you before then.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to where we were. Oh, we were into those things, okay. Zoning. Get my glasses out. How do I do? Sure don't want to be chairman?
You're talking to Mike or Scott?
Yeah.
You're not talking to me.
Keep all this paper together. Okay, here we go. We'll go back to item 6. I believe it is.
Good night.
I think we're on correspondence.
Okay. Well, that's the old packet. Yeah, here it is. All right. Next page. Did the election of office, so we're going back to item 7A. Motion to go back to 7A?
Motion to
From
go back to
somebody?
7A.
Yep. Second,
I'll
anybody?
second it.
Seconds, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we went through the zoning minutes. Went through the EDC, had a meeting on November 15th. Couple items of interest there was, I guess there's a little problem on North Federal Road, north of the Four Corners. And they trying to figure out how to minimize that. I guess they can't get everybody to pitch in to do it, so they're looking into adopt a highway program to try to clean this thing, keep it clean. Also, they had a kickoff meeting to be held on the block party planned for next year in June 14th of 2023. And they're trying to get somebody to really lead this project a little along the way, but so there are talk about a block party. That's a return. There was one several years ago, before COVID.
Yes.
Then Mr. Dombrowski gave a presentation, and he says Phase 4 will be redesigned and rescoped. And the Still River Greenway Trail will now head north at the Four Corners along the west side of the road with a crossing at Newberry Village. That's been decided. The trail also will extend north from Newberry Village on the east side of the road up to the Newberry Village property line, and then cut to the river and continue north. And Phase 6 has been canceled. There was a question about parking, and Mr. Dombrowski stated there will be 2 public parking lots in that area, one at the north end of the new grocery store being built at 731 Federal Road, and one at 20 Station Road. Thought that was pretty interesting. Another thing of interest was, it talked about Chick-fil-A, and some of the construction going on there, but there will be overnight work being done in front of Chick-fil-A this winter. He noted that the Chick-fil-A owner opened up a second franchise in the Danbury Fair Mall, while the branch in Brookfield, hear this now, boasts the most business of any Chick-fil-A drive-through in the country.
Crazy.
You go by lunchtime, you
Crazy.
can believe
It
it.
is, yeah, absolutely.
And they're
I knew it was
closed on
busy,
Sundays.
but, yeah,
Closed on Sundays.
top in the country.
All over the
that's
country.
surprising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Any other comments about the Economic Development Commissions? If not, I'll move on to Charter Revision Committee. Okay, they held a meeting on the 21st. I had planned to go, but unfortunately, we had some health problems in the family and couldn't make it. So, because I know I was gonna go, and I don't know whether, John went or not. He said he might go, but I don't know whether he did. Anyhow, they did discuss the, combining planning with zoning. Looks right now where they're at is, replacing the commission with planning and zoning in the charter. That's what, it's under item number 4, if you're looking at it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The first item is, replace planning commission, and that's just adding the words, it's in the charter, adding the words, replace with planning and zoning commission. And then a little further down in the charter, they say add planning and prior to all zoning commission references. It looks like they're talking about increasing the size of the board from 5 to 7 regular members. And they deleted planning in that section 3-21, and replace planning commission alternates with planning and zoning commission alternates. Again, that's taking care of text in the charter. And when they say under item GG delete, that's saying getting rid of planning. They're deleting M zoning commission alternates delete, replace with planning and zoning commission alternates under the addendum subheading II. And this is going to become effective during the biennial election of 2025, if they go through with this. Please remember, there's a public hearing, it's gonna happen before they make their final recommendation, where we can talk about what our feelings are about combining the commissions. What's amazing to me is, I know I have spoken to them about this in the past. I've never seen them refer to the fact that zoning doesn't seem to want to even talk about it. I guess they overjoyed about having to do with plan development. I don't think they understand what they're going to get themselves involved with.
So if it's going to, it becomes effective in the
If it-
biennial
if-
election
if
of
it gets
2025, that really
If
it takes
yeah,
place
if it
in,
gets voted into existence.
right, then it really, when they
Then they'll-
are seated, it would be in the
What they'll do is they'll start
2026.
saying, people, somebody,
Sorry. I'm just taking note of the part here where it says to become effective during the biennial election of 2025. That would be in November. That means those folks would be seated in 2026.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And that's when the new plan of conservation and development will be due in 2026.
So, that's how they're progressing on the charter revision. Like I say, they still got more to do. I don't think they plan to get done until around February. And usually before they get any further than that, they hold a big public hearing, at
Mhm.
which time we could speak our mind of where we want to speak, what we want to do. I think some of the concerns they had concerning workload, we've already addressed with going to one meeting a month and doing Zoom meetings as much as possible where it helps. But that's the latest on that. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it serves the town better personally. That's my feeling.
I don't know how they're gonna go from there. By that time, I might be retired from this commission. 2025, that's 3 years from now. You know,
Yeah,
am I allowed to retire from the commission 3 years from now?
yep,
Okay. Well,
absolutely.
informal discussion.
About the, thinking about the religious establishment that's gonna open. They're gonna be, it's gonna be a
Which
nonprofit, so
establishment
we're
is
not
that?
gonna, the town's not gonna get any tax money from them, right?
Typically, that's correct. It's a nonprofit organization, we don't get the taxes.
That was one piece I didn't catch when reading some of the background to some of the other prior minutes. Was it established that they are a nonprofit? I didn't see, maybe that's
I didn't see,
assumed, but I
501,
didn't see
501C
evidence
or
of
whatever.
that in there, yeah.
Well,
I didn't
there's a
see
number
it.
of different moving parts to this, as you may know, because the church was initially issued a violation for operating a church in a district that does not allow churches.
Mhm.
Tonight, you have made a recommendation to the zoning commission that they should be allowed in the C1 zone. So that, is.
But it was established that they are actually a church, not a
They
gathering.
are, in fact, they're
That-
registered with the Secretary of the State of Connecticut
Okay.
as K Church Corp.
Okay,
But the thing is, with the zone change, the zone change has nothing to do with a particular church. And
Right.
that's, so
No,
that.
it's
that's kind
any
of-
Understood.
religious
Right,
organization.
so that will be, a kind of a moot point in that regard. But that is correct. If it were to operate, it would be considered a nonprofit organization. Now, I don't know, it's rare for a church to be a for-profit, institution. But, the Secretary of State, website doesn't list any further information about it. Simply that it did register with the state. They don't even have articles of incorporation, everything. There's no information on the website, but they are incorporated since 2018, I believe. But I can't find the owner, I can't find the director of that organization. I can't find their address. I have not, to get in touch with them to
mhm.
communicate with them.
It's just the fact that a church is probably more desirable there than a cannabis operation or something.
Well, it's interesting, and what I
No,
know.
that area of town, at one time, they were talking about putting in a gambling parlor in at that point in time. And you would not have believed how that enraged the residents of this town.
That's the old Fox Hill Inn, right?
That's correct,
Right.
yeah.
That's a big,
Oh,
pretty big
okay.
building.
Yeah.
It's a big building, but you know, and there's, the Rollingwood condos are right near there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's a
it's-
lot of
it's right
people, there's
there.
250 people or so, I think, in those condos, or anyway,
Yeah.
apartments there.
Yeah.
You know, that they're actually
Well,
not
we have
happy.
churches though that are near residential areas now.
Oh, sure,
in
and
town.
they're
Yeah.
allowed in residential
Yeah.
areas, and I'm not really, I don't personally understand
Mhm.
why they're against it.
Yeah.
I don't understand, but, you know, having a church
Right. I
allowed
don't know
to
if
be
it's
there.
because of the,
No.
maybe the possibility of the extra traffic, because you got the restaurant right there.
Yeah, that's what
Usually
their
Then you got
only
argument
that,
is.
one
and then
day,
you're gonna have-
one day a week.
That's what their argument is.
Well, if you have another
You know,
restaurant.
unless they're, you know, some churches do Saturday and Sunday services, but still.
We don't know if they're gonna have any kind of, you know, religious instruction schools or
Yeah,
any
you'll have,
kind
right, you'll
of,
have,
you know,
oftentimes you'll have, you know, classes.
sporting
and you'll have-
events or, you
Sure,
know.
well, it's a very big
music.
musically inclined
Music,
organization. In fact, all of their, if you go to their Facebook page or their Instagram page, there's like smoke coming up with like disco balls and, you know, I don't know, you know,
Oh.
kinds of demonstrations of things, you know, like, stage theatrics, kind of. And in fact, that was one of the reasons the fire marshal shut them down, because there was some kind of a smoke machine in there. And, you know, they didn't have a permit for that, and they didn't have a permit for any of the changes they made to the interior of the
Well,
building.
look,
Right,
Capel
they don't have a
Grove
CO or
Church
anything.
now.
That's correct. So there, you know, there've been a number of problems, but, you know, this,
Yeah,
I think,
well, by a
you know,
church.
tonight, the zoning commission, you know, needs your, which you gave, needs your report on whether that was consistent with, you know,
Yeah.
the zoning, and,
State.
you know,
My thinking is that if something was to happen to one of the existing churches and their structures and they needed somewhere to go for some time period, we would certainly want to accommodate them as best we could, and this would allow that, so.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there's, as I say, it seems like, it seems to be a small,
Mhm.
it seems to be a small change,
Yeah.
you know, to allow churches in, or
Well, it's
or
special
religious
permit too,
organizations.
so
It's
they,
a special
you know,
permit,
Pardon?
yeah.
it is special permit, so.
Yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
that's right, so that means the case.
If it's an objectionable type of thing,
Will they have like you know, same thing, a public hearing for like the residents of Rolling?
Oh, yeah, they have to have
That's
a
gotta
public
come.
hearing, yeah,
So,
mhm,
There might
absolutely.
be, like I said, maybe, well, probably opposition from the people that live there, just because of the traffic, you know.
Well, there was
problems.
already an application, not to make the change that you recommended tonight, but there was an application to, to change the 4 parcels in the area from a C1 zone to a C2 zone in order to allow, because in C2 zones, the churches are allowed. So that application, however, was denied without prejudice because the commission didn't follow proper procedure, which is, number one, submit it to you for your comments. And that was not done, so that whole application was denied without prejudice. That's when they came back with this new application to simply change the one, you know, simply change that
you know,
zone.
there's rumors about Fox Hill Inn being haunted.
With a church in there, the devil
So
will
the
leave.
perfect place for a church.
There you go. It's a very interesting case, certainly.
I wonder if they have a sewer assessment there, because I know WPCA.
I believe it's on septic. Oh, it can't,
No.
almost can't be, no. It can't be.
Rollingwood is all
Yeah.
public sewer.
But, you know, the use that it had before, which was this Fox Hill Inn,
Right.
I mean, very heavily, I mean, that's quite a heavy use of.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
big
may
crowds
not
there.
change that assessment.
You wanna take these and put
I
the
guess I'll
reuse
see that
then?
in the
Okay.
WPCA
Next time.
meeting.
Any other topics for
Well,
further discussion?
Yeah, that's how I thought, just put them in there, that way we don't have to go
Linda,
through
you
all that
want to
stuff
make
over
your
again.
motion?
I do.
You do.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Anybody else?
All those, a new
Second.
second. Got a second from
Second.
Scott.